I invite Dr. Reshma Pujara from the Fortis Hospital for her paper presentation.
Good morning, everybody. Today I would like to present an interesting case report on complications of sciatic nerve block. This was a 56-year-old ASA2 lady who was posted for ORIF fracture medial malleolus. She had hypertension, diabetes, allergic bronchitis. Patient had a URTI and wheezing with a saturation of 96% on air and a normal chest X-ray. Plan of anesthesia in her case was obviously regional. GA was avoided because of wheezing. There were two options. Either we could have given her a subarachnoid block or a left femorosciatic block. Patient was quite cooperative and she was willing for the femorosciatic block. There was no contraindication to spinal, but the block was preferred due to better post-op analgesia. Patient was shifted to the OT, IV line was secured, all the routine monitors like NIBP, ECG, pulse oximetry were applied. Patient's weight was 75 kg, a local anesthetic mixture of bupivacaine 0.5%, 25 cc, that is around 1.5 milligram per kg, with xylocaine 2% with 1 and 2 lakhs adrenaline 25 cc, that is about 6.5 milligram per kg, and normal saline 25 cc was taken, that is making it a total of about 75 cc. Method of nerve localization used was a peripheral nerve locator, that is Timiplex. First, we gave the femoral block by the PNS. We obtained the classical twitches, that is patellar snap, at a current of about 0.5 milliamperes. 25 cc of the local anesthetic mixture was injected. Then we proceeded ahead to give the sciatic block by Raj technique. The limb to be operated was raised and held by an attendant with flexion at the hip and the knee joint of 90 degrees. First, we palpated the greater trochanter and then the ischial tuberosity. A line was made joining the two. A 10 centimeter Stimiplex needle was inserted at the midpoint of the line, perpendicular to the skin and parallel to the table. At a depth of about 8 centimeter, we obtained the twitches of dorsiflexion of the ankle at a current of 0.6 milliamperes. Needle placement was confirmed by negative aspiration. We started the injection of local anesthetic. By repeated negative aspirations, local anesthetic was injected. After injection of about 35 cc of the drug, patient started developing slurring of speech, disorientation, muscle twitches, and she threw a tonic-clonic seizure. A serious adverse reaction to local anesthetic was suspected. The injection was stopped immediately, and patient was oxygenated with 100% of oxygen by face mask. IV midazolam 2 milligram was given to abolish the convulsion, and the patient was ventilated by mask after putting an airway. Patient had an initial tachycardia of 100, followed by bradycardia of 58 beats per minute, so IV atropine was given. Convulsion ceased, but patient had raised EtCO2 of 96, and the respiration was not adequate. So we decided to intubate and ventilate the patient. IV propofol 50 milligram and IV atracurium 40 milligram was given. Patient was intubated, ventilated, and ABG showed severe metabolic acidosis, which was corrected by IV soda bicarb. Patient was ventilated for 45 minutes. Slowly, as the patient started breathing, she was reversed and extubated. Patient was conscious and responding, but she was sleepy due to the post-ictal phase On inquiring about the event, patient did not remember anything. Surgery was postponed and patient was shifted to the ICU. To conclude, this is a classical case of neurotoxicity to local anesthetic, probably due to accidental intravascular absorption of the drug. Though sciatic nerve block is given in a less vascular area, and the needle placement was confirmed with repeated negative aspirations, there can still be a rare possibility of intravascular absorption, which shows that negative aspiration is not 100% foolproof. A slow injection with repeated aspiration of after about every 3 cc is recommended. Even after taking all the precautions, we need to monitor the patient carefully. Adequate monitoring, a high index of suspicion, and a rapid action is required to tackle an adverse reaction. Thank you.
Had severe metabolic acidosis, but previous statement was PaCO2 was 96. So what was the pH you were looking at, and what was the base excess in the bicarb?
pH was 7.1126, and the base excess was about -8.
So that's a pure respiratory acidosis, isn't it? See.
No, but the. Just a minute, I will. She had a pH of 7.126 and a PCO2 of 54 with a low bicarb 18.
Yeah. So basically you're still dealing with respiratory acidosis rather than metabolic acidosis. And the treatment of choice is, bicarb can further aggravate the problem.
We hyperventilated the patient also.
Yeah, so basically hyperventilation and bicarb will aggravate the
Basically,
CO2.
Initially the patient was hyperventilated to bring down the ETCO2.
Two questions. One is, you were not monitoring the ETCO2 when you were ventilating this patient?
We were.
You were?
Yeah.
Then how did it go up to 96?
That was immediately after the convulsion.
Oh, okay.
That was immediately after the convulsion. After we ventilated, it came down to about 40.
And with all this, why did you not go ahead with the surgery? You postponed the problem to another day, isn't it?
Yeah, actually it was surgeon's decision, not entirely. It was the surgeon's decision basically.
Okay.
He wanted it to be at a later day. He didn't want to.
Any questions from the audience?
Yeah.
Was intralipid considered in this case?
Please make it fast, clear, and.
Since we didn't have any signs of cardiac toxicity and the convulsion was controlled after MIDAS, we didn't think of giving intralipid.
Hello. Did you use lignocaine with adrenaline from sciatic nerve block?
Yeah, combination of bupivacaine.
But in the books it is given that the sciatic nerve blood supply can be compromised. For that matter, you should not use lignocaine with adrenaline for sciatic nerve block. And second thing, the total amount of local anesthetic used was 60 ml. So lignocaine plus sensorcaine, the toxicity gets added.
Yeah, the combination.
So the volume used should be less for femoral plus sciatic nerve block.
One more question, please.
But if
75
the
was the
volume
total
is
volume.
less, then the action is like, you're not sure of the action, especially for sciatic. Okay, but it was not, if it would have been USG guided, it would have been adequate, but not. Okay.
Sir,
don't
excuse
think
me.
Excuse me.
Re-
See, I would like you to specify what was the total volume used. You drew up 75 ml,
Yeah,
and I was under the
25.
impression you used only 30 ml of this. Is
No,
that so?
25 was injected for femoral. 25 was injected for femoral first.
Yes.
And then 35, after injection of 35.
Okay. Total 35.
Yeah. No, total is 60.
Okay.
Total is 60.
So my question is related to the same, that how ideal it is to mix the sensorcaine and lignocaine with its full dose. Means the lignocaine with adrenaline is 2 milligram per kg. She has taken 25 ml, and bupivacaine 7 milligram per kg, and bupivacaine is 2 milligram per kg. She has taken 25 ml. Both are the LA. So how is we measure the toxicity level in when you mix it?
So, what do you think the toxicity is because of? Is this an overdose or
No,
a reaction? Please tell me.
Actually, I have asked this question to Dr. Bala Venkat, and he is of the opinion it is accidental intravascular injection.